Can you even imagine the gut-wrenching, soul-crushing feeling of watching months, maybe even a year, of your life's work vanish into thin air with a single click? Not by accident, not by a power outage, but by the deliberate, malicious act of someone who is supposed to be your mentor, your leader, your colleague. And not just that, but having it happen right in front of a room full of people whose respect you craved, people whose judgment you feared. That was my reality, the day my world shattered, and then, almost miraculously, began to rebuild itself in a way I never could have foreseen. Was I wrong for the path I chose next? For turning my back on the ashes and walking straight into an entirely new fire? One that promised salvation but also demanded a profound shift in my loyalties. Tell me honestly if you would have done the same thing. I still remember the day I started at Phoenix Technologies. It was supposed to be my dream job. I'd spent years in college busting my ass pulling all-nighters, fueled by cheap coffee and an unwavering belief that I was destined to create something truly impactful in the world of AI development. Phoenix was at the cutting edge, a real innovator, and their senior AI architect, Dr. Thorne, was a legend. Getting hired onto his team felt like winning the lottery. The initial months were everything I'd hoped for. The work was challenging, the environment stimulating, and I felt like I was finally among people who spoke my language. I poured every ounce of my energy, creativity, and knowledge into the project assigned me. A revolutionary predictive algorithm designed to optimize complex logistical networks, something that could literally change how entire industries operated. I called it Nexus. It was my baby. I coded late into the nights, debugged until my eyes blurred, and celebrated every small breakthrough like a personal triumph. I lived and breathed Nexus. My direct supervisor was a woman named Eleanor Vance. She was brilliant, no doubt about it, with a mind like a steel trap and a reputation for being fiercely intelligent, but also notoriously difficult. Initially, I saw her demanding nature as a sign of her commitment to excellence, a trait I admired. She pushed me, critiqued my code with a laser-like precision, and held me to incredibly high standards. I saw it as tough love, a way to refine my skills and make Nexus truly perfect. We had regular review meetings, usually just the two of us, where I'd present my progress, and she'd offer feedback, sometimes scathing, but always, I thought, constructive. The project was moving along beautifully. I was hitting all my milestones, and Nexus was performing even better in simulations than we had initially projected. I was proud, genuinely proud, of the work I was doing. Then things started to shift subtly. Eleanor began taking more control, not just in terms of guidance, but in the actual direction of the project. She'd make decisions about features, design elements, and even core functionalities without much consultation, often overruling my suggestions even when I presented strong arguments and data to support them. I brushed it off, telling myself she had a broader perspective, that she was the senior architect for a reason. But the feeling of ownership, of Nexus being my creation, began to erode. I felt like a highly skilled drone, executing someone else's vision rather than a co-creator. Still, I persisted. My love for the algorithm itself, for the intricate dance of its code, kept me going. I believed in Nexus, even if I was losing faith in my role within its development. The major review meeting was scheduled for the end of the fiscal year. This was a big deal. The entire AI division, including Dr. Thorne himself, would be present. It was an opportunity for project leads to showcase their work, secure further funding, and demonstrate progress. Eleanor informed me that I would be presenting Nexus. I was thrilled and terrified in equal measure. This was my chance to shine, to finally show everyone what I had poured my heart and soul into. I spent weeks preparing, creating meticulous slides, rehearsing my presentation until every word, every gesture was perfect. I wanted to convey not just the technical brilliance of Nexus, but also the passion and vision behind it. The day of the presentation arrived. The conference room was packed. Dr. Thorne sat at the head of the table, his gaze sharp and intelligent. Eleanor was beside me, a faint, almost imperceptible smirk playing on her lips, which I, in my naive excitement, mistook for pride. I started my presentation, my voice steady, my confidence growing with each slide. I walked them through the architecture, the predictive models, the real-world applications. I showed them simulations, demonstrating Nexus's unparalleled efficiency and accuracy. The questions from the audience were insightful, and I answered them with ease, drawing on my deep understanding of every line of code. I felt a buzz in the room, a palpable sense of excitement. Dr. Thorne was nodding slowly, a rare smile gracing his usually serious face. I was almost done, just one more slide to go, showcasing the final, fully integrated version of Nexus running live on our secure server. I clicked to the demo, and that's when it happened. Eleanor leaned over, her voice a low, chilling whisper that somehow cut through the hum of the room. "Your work is garbage," she said, just loud enough for me to hear, but too quiet for anyone else to catch. Before I could even process the words, her hand moved. With a deliberate, almost theatrical slowness, she reached over my shoulder, her finger hovering over the delete key on the live demo interface. My heart hammered against my ribs. "Begin again," she added, her eyes locking with mine, a cold, triumphant glint in them. Then she pressed it, delete, the screen flickered, a confirmation box popped up. "Are you sure you want to permanently delete Nexus v3? 2. My blood ran cold. I stared at it frozen. Before I could even react, before I could scream, before I could stop her, she clicked yes. The progress bar, representing a year of my life, a year of endless effort, of dreams and aspirations, started to empty. It was agonizingly slow, each pixel dissolving like a piece of my soul. In front of everyone, Nexus, my brilliant, beautiful Nexus, simply vanished. The room was silent, a collective gasp rippled through the audience. Dr. Thorne's smile had faded, replaced by a look of utter shock and confusion. I felt a wave of nausea, a dizzying emptiness in my chest. I couldn't breathe, my vision blurred, it was gone. Everything. Eleanor stood up, a calm, almost serene expression on her face. "As you can see," she announced to the stunned room, her voice clear and resonant, "there appears to have been a catastrophic data corruption, a complete system failure. This version of Nexus is, regrettably, unsalvageable." She looked at me, a flicker of something cruel in her eyes. "It seems we'll have to start from scratch. A shame, really, after all the time invested." My mind was a whirlwind of disbelief, anger, and betrayal. Start from scratch. She just deleted it, in front of me. In front of everyone. The audacity, the sheer malice of it, was beyond anything I could have imagined. I wanted to scream, to accuse her, to expose her right there, but the words caught in my throat. My face was hot, my hands trembling. I felt exposed, humiliated, utterly destroyed. The silence in the room was deafening, broken only by the quiet murmurs that started to spread. I could feel their eyes on me, pity, confusion, perhaps even judgment. It was unbearable. I wanted to disappear. So that's the situation I was in, standing there, my life's work annihilated by a vengeful superior, in front of the very people I sought to impress. I had to make a choice. Do I confront her, make a scene, potentially destroy my career at Phoenix in a futile attempt to salvage my pride? Or do I swallow the injustice, try to rebuild, and forever carry the weight of that public humiliation? Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have lashed out, or would you have retreated, licking your wounds? Tell me honestly, what's your gut reaction? Just as the humiliation threatened to swallow me whole, a sharp, insistent vibration in my pocket cut through the haze. My phone, I reflexively pulled it out, my fingers fumbling. The caller ID was a name I recognized, but one I certainly wasn't expecting in that moment. Dr. Anya Sharma, Quantum Labs. Quantum Labs was Phoenix's fiercest competitor, a rising star in the AI world, known for their aggressive poaching of top talent and their even more aggressive R&D. Dr. Sharma was their lead AI architect, a brilliant mind, and rumored to be a direct rival to Dr. Thorne. My mind was reeling, but a strange instinct, a desperate need for an escape, made me answer. I held the phone to my ear, my voice barely a whisper. "Hello, Doctor?" Sharma's voice was calm, professional, but with an underlying urgency. "I apologize for the untimely call," she began, "but I've been monitoring the live feed of your presentation. My team and I are incredibly impressed with Nexus, or rather, what asterisk was asterisk Nexus. We have reason to believe its deletion was engineered." My head snapped up. She knew, she had seen it. A flicker of hope, of vindication, sparked in my chest. "We've been watching your work for months," she continued, "and frankly, we believe Phoenix Technologies is stifling your potential. We also have proprietary knowledge that strongly suggests Eleanor Vance has been attempting to claim partial credit for Nexus's development for some time." My jaw dropped. It was even worse than I thought. She wasn't just malicious, she was a thief. "I won't waste your time," Dr. Sharma said, cutting to the chase. "We are prepared to offer you a position as our lead AI architect, with full creative control over your projects, including the immediate recreation and advancement of Nexus, under a new name. Of course, we will provide you with an unlimited budget for resources and a dedicated team. And to be clear, we are offering a signing bonus of $500,000, effective immediately upon your acceptance. We believe in your vision, we believe in ***, $500,000, full creative control, a chance to rebuild Nexus, my Nexus, without interference and with even greater resources." The offer was staggering, almost unbelievable. My eyes drifted back to Eleanor, who was now calmly addressing Dr. Thorne, somehow spinning the corruption, into a narrative about system vulnerabilities and the need for stricter protocols. She met my gaze, a triumphant, almost pitying smirk on her face, believing she had utterly crushed me. Then my phone rang again, a second call from Dr. Sharma's line. It was a follow-up. "Yes," I said into the phone, my voice suddenly strong, resolute, cutting through the stunned silence in the room. I looked directly at Eleanor, my gaze unwavering. "Yes, I'll take the $500,000 offer to join your team." The impact was immediate and spectacular. Eleanor's face, which moments before had been smug, contorted into a mask of pure shock and fury. Dr. Thorne, who had been listening to her carefully, turned his head sharply, his eyes widening as he registered my words. The murmurs in the room escalated into an excited buzz. Everyone had heard. I had just publicly accepted an offer from their fiercest rival, right after my project had been spectacularly and suspiciously deleted by my superior. The sheer drama of the moment was palpable. I felt a surge of exhilaration, a fierce, defiant joy. The humiliation was instantly replaced by a feeling of immense power. Eleanor took a step towards me, her face pale, her lips trembling with suppressed rage. "What did you just say?" she hissed, her voice barely audible. I met her stare, no longer afraid, no longer defeated. "You heard me, Eleanor," I said, my voice clear and steady, loud enough for everyone to hear. "I said yes, I'm joining Quantum Labs and I'm taking my work with me. Of course, I knew legally I couldn't take the code I developed at Phoenix, but the algorithms, the core concepts, the intellectual framework of Nexus. That was mine, developed over years, long before Phoenix, and I could recreate it, refine it, and make it even better." Eleanor knew it too. Her face flushed scarlet. Dr. Thorne, recovering from his shock, stood up. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded, looking from me to Eleanor, a dangerous glint in his eyes. "The meaning, Dr. Thorne," I said, my voice gaining strength, "is that I just watched my year-long project be deliberately deleted by a mess, Vance, moments after she called it garbage and told me to begin again. And now, a company that actually values my work and respects intellectual honesty has offered me a phenomenal opportunity to continue it. I glanced at Eleanor, who was speechless, sputtering, unable to form a coherent response. Perhaps, I added, looking back at Dr. Thorne, you should investigate exactly why Ms. Vance felt the need to destroy a project that was clearly on the verge of a major breakthrough, and why a competing lab already had a fully formed offer ready the moment it happened. The aftermath was swift and brutal, at least for Eleanor. Dr. Thorne, a man of integrity despite his demanding nature, launched an immediate internal investigation. Dr. Sharma provided them with enough circumstantial evidence, timestamps of Eleanor accessing my files, her known history of attempting to take credit for others' work, and the undeniably suspicious timing of the deletion, to build a strong case. Eleanor was not only fired but faced legal action for malicious destruction of company property and intellectual sabotage. Her reputation in the industry was utterly destroyed. As for me, I walked out of Phoenix Technologies that day with my head held high and a $500,000 signing bonus waiting for me. Joining Quantum Labs was a revelation. Dr. Sharma was everything Eleanor was not. Supportive, collaborative, and genuinely invested in empowering her team. I was given complete autonomy to rebuild Nexus, now affectionately renamed Genesis, at Quantum. With more resources, a dedicated team, and no malicious interference, Genesis flourished. Within 18 months it was ready, and its public unveiling was a massive success, outperforming anything Phoenix Technologies had to offer. Dr. Thorne even sent me a congratulatory email, admitting his regret over the situation with Eleanor and wishing me well. He was, in his own way, a good man, just blinded by trusting the wrong people. Looking back, that day in the conference room was the worst and best day of my professional life. It was a moment of profound betrayal, but it was also the catalyst for an incredible new beginning. It taught me a vital lesson about standing up for myself, recognizing my worth, and never letting anyone else define my value or destroy my creations. Sometimes, when one door slams shut, another, far better one, opens, often leading to a path you never dared to imagine. So, that's my story. It was a hell of a ride, filled with humiliation, anger, and ultimately, triumph. If you were on my side through this whole ordeal, go ahead and like this video. Seriously, it helps more than you know. Don't forget to subscribe for more crazy stories like this one, because believe me, the corporate world has no shortage of them. And please, share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments section below. I'm really curious to hear what you all think about how I handled it. I'll see you all in the next story.